Guys, and welcome to my hurricane forecast on Invest 97L. Now, Invest 97L, as you can see here on the satellite image, it looks very intense. And right now, the National Hurricane Center currently gives this a high 70% chance of formation in the next 48 hours, and in the next 5 days it gives it a high 90% chance of development in the next 5 days. So guys, this is something that we have been watching for a couple of days now, and as we know, the chances started from 20 and just went up as the days passed by. The chances increased for development, which means that we could possibly be seeing a tropical depression or a tropical storm forming in the next 48 hours, because in the next 48 hours it has a high 70% chance of development, which means that it could develop before it reaches the Lesser Antilles and the southern Lesser Antilles, which means that it could have a chance of development. And guys, if you live in the Lesser Antilles, you would need to pay close attention to it. And the National Hurricane Center, this is the 2 p.m. advisory, and it says that showers and thunderstorms associated with a broad low pressure area and a tropical wave is located about 1,000 miles southeast of the Windward Islands. Some have become better organized since yesterday. However, recent satellite wind data indicates that this disturbance does not have a well-defined center of circulation. Environmental conditions appear generally favorable for continued development, and a tropical depression or storm will likely form in the next day or two, while the system moves west-northwestward at about 20 to 25 miles per hour. Interest in the Lesser Antilles should closely monitor the progress of this system, and as advisories on potential tropical cyclone accompanied by tropical storm watches for portions of this area are likely to be issued later. Formation chance in the next 48 hours, high 70%. Throughout the next 5 days, high 90%. So guys, you could see that National Hurricane Center says that tropical storm warning may be possibly issued for that area, for the Windward and Leeward Islands, about later in the day when this develops into a tropical storm or depression, guys. And you could actually see that on the satellite. This system looks very intense on the satellite imagery, and you could literally look at this and see the inflow on this storm, and it's starting to give us this cyclonic shape, and you could see the vorticity in that general area. Although it does not have a defined center of circulation, the National Hurricane Center said that we may get to see a tropical depression or storm forming in the next 5 days. And from my observation, it seems like the center of circulation is somewhere in that general area, which means that we're going to have to watch this very closely because right now it has a high chance of development, and we may see development with this tropical system, guys. And this is a situation that we have to take seriously, especially if you live in the Lesser Antilles, because this will be affecting your area like in 2 to 3 days or 5 days out, because you would really need to watch this very closely, because you could see on the satellite imagery this system looks very, very intense on the satellite imagery. You could see the inflow on this storm, and you could see most of the thunderstorms are focused on almost close to the center of circulation on this storm, which means that we're likely going to see a tropical depression or storm forming very soon, guys. So if you live in the Windward and Leeward Islands, you would need to watch this very closely as it gets closer to your area. Now, let's look at the spaghetti plots on this tropical system. Now, you can see the spaghetti plots do agree that this would pass through the Windward and Leeward Islands and may possibly head up to Florida, but we still have to consider that some of the models still keep this generally south, take this south east southwestern turn, and we would need to take this into consideration because it's possible that this might happen as it gets closer towards that area, because you could see not all of the models necessarily show that this would go straight up towards Florida. Some of them keep it headed towards the Yucatan Peninsula, then headed into the Gulf of Mexico, and we should not ignore this part. We should still take it into consideration that it's possible and it could happen. So guys, you would need to watch this if you live in Florida or the Yucatan Peninsula, and regardless if it goes up to Florida, it would still have an impact on Central America, because it would not be passing very very close, but still some of its outer band could head towards your area. And if it goes up to Florida, you would need to really take this into consideration, that this could produce heavy rains and potentially tropical storm force winds if it heads towards that area. So we're not really having an agreement on the models, because some of them still take this in deeper into the Caribbean, which we would have to closely watch, guys. So in the next several days we would need to watch this, and right now we're going to look at the infrared satellite Invest 97L. So now guys, this is the infrared satellite imagery, and you could see that this is the inflow in this storm, and you could see this storm is really getting its shape together, guys, which means that we could possibly see a tropical depression forming as soon as tomorrow morning or tomorrow night. So guys, we're going to have to watch it, and you see that it's headed in very warm water temperatures, and I'm going to be showing you that very soon, because this is headed into warm water temperatures, which can lead to intensification, and generally the wind shear in that area is low, which means that this would have enough advantage to develop and would take advantage of the warm water temperatures, and no wind shear is in that area, and there's barely any Saharan dust to slow down the development of this system. So once again, we're going to have to watch this as it gets closer to the Windward and Leeward Islands, especially if you live around the Lesser Antilles. So guys, if you live in the Windward and Leeward Islands, I would really like for you to pay attention to the latest National Hurricane Center advisories that they issue on this tropical disturbance, because this could become a tropical storm or a tropical depression, as the National Hurricane Center advisory quotes, and they would need to issue tropical storm warnings in that area. Another thing we're going to talk about is you would need to prepare for this storm as it gets closer to your area, because remember, it would expect to pass your area about around Friday, which you would have only a limited amount of time to prepare and get ready for the storm. I'm not really saying that you would need to evacuate and get out of the area and it would turn into a big hurricane, but I'm trying to say that you would need to pay attention to the latest Hurricane Center advisories as this storm develops and gets into progress. So let's look at the intensity guidance on this tropical disturbance. Now guys, as you can see here, this is the intensity guidance on Invest 97L, and you could see models take this potentially up to category 1 status and have it reaching tropical storm status. At least the models are in agreement that this could reach to a tropical storm status at least within the next 12 to 24 hour period, which means that we're going to have to watch this, because when it becomes a tropical storm, it's when things get more clear. We will get more information on the storm and more data to determine where the storm is going to head and where it's going to make landfall, because remember, the cone comes out when it becomes a tropical depression or storm, and we would more or less know where the storm is headed, and we would not have to focus only on the spaghetti plots, and we would rely on the National Hurricane Center and their cone that they issue for the storm and where it's headed. So regardless of what happens, the Windward and Leeward Islands could get some very heavy winds and gusty winds if this develops into a tropical depression or storm, and the models potentially take this up to category 3 hurricane status. And I'm not saying that I doubt this could happen, but still I'm saying that this is it's so intense that some of the models are going very wild on this. Most of the models take this to potentially category 1 category 1 or 2 hurricane status, especially the ship model, and the HWFI model take this all the way up to category 3 status, which I don't say that I doubt this, but still. And if it was to become a category 3, it would be when it goes up into the Gulf of Mexico, or if it heads into the Central America area and goes out into the Eastern Pacific. So once again, as I said, we're going to have to closely watch this as it gets closer to the Windward and Leeward Islands, guys, because this could be a developing situation in the next several days. So I hope you listen to your National Met Service. And quick update on Invest 95L, it's dead, and it's just a remnants now, and that's headed towards the Western Caribbean, Eastern Caribbean, and we would need to watch that because some of the models show this redeveloping as it reach into that area, the remnants redeveloping. So once again, guys, I would like for you to pay attention, very close attention to Invest 97L, as it may become a tropical depression or storm in the next several days. So keep some very close attention to this storm as it progresses, and in the next forecast that I'm going to be doing, I'm going to be showing you the GFS model and what it has to say on this storm and how it has this developing. So guys, thank you for watching this forecast. Thank you for 86 subscribers, by the way, and huge shout out to Aaron Jones and everybody that support me on this channel. So once again, thank you for 86 subscribers. We're getting closer to 100 every day, and I just like the progress, and thank you for watching.